think I'm live. I'm going to give you guys a couple of minutes to come in while I catch my dog. So if you're coming in and you're here, just give me a second because I got to get my dog. No. Downstairs. Go. Okay. Sorry. I had to get Delilah. Had to go put her downstairs. Alright, I'm going to let a couple of you guys come in because I haven't done a live stream in a really long time. And so this is probably my first live stream in a couple of months. So today I'm going to go over recap of Homesteaders of America conference with you. And I'm going to give some thank yous. Good morning, Anita. And just keep in mind that my comments on my live stream are really delayed. So, alright, we got a few people. That's fine. Everybody can watch later. So, as a lot of you know, good morning, Jason. Good morning, Nanda. Nanda, I wasn't sure if you'd be on because I know you're at work. I can see you, Jason. I can. Okay. So as a lot of you know, you were first, Jason. I didn't see you. My comments are just now coming up, so I think my internet's really slow. A lot of you know the Homesteaders of America conference was this weekend, and it was phenomenal. Like, I can't express I have no words to express what went on this weekend. I mean, it far exceeded my expectations of what we had been planning and what we had been hoping for. And it was just an incredible event. And, and that is, a lot of people said, oh, it was your event and that's great. But honest to goodness, the event could not have gone off the way that it did without all of the volunteers and all of the people who helped us. I mean, we probably had 15 volunteers on Friday during the day helping us. Good morning, Heather. And I probably would have just stood there like a deer in headlights if I didn't have these volunteers. Like, I would have had no idea what to do or what I was doing. And so they came in, they all arrived on Friday morning. Jason, Big Bear Homestead, Nanda's husband, John, which my little boy absolutely loves. Junior just loves John. YouTube is doing it again. I just had to resub to Amy twice. Oh, yeah. See, I've been losing a lot of subs because I think I haven't been posting often, and so YouTube's been deleting people. So, if you guys want to share the video, that would be awesome. And I'm going to try and do a video on the Homesteaders of America YouTube channel as well. John loves Junior. Yeah, Junior loves John. Nanda's husband, John. He came home on Saturday. He goes, man, John is like my second pawpaw. I just love John. I miss John. When can I go see John again? And ever since then, Junior's been talking about John. And that was the amazing part of the entire conference, is just the connections that we made with people and how real everyone was. I think my husband was scared that everybody was going to be fake. Like, either they weren't who they said they were or they weren't even real, because how do you know on social media? How do you know unless you talk to these people on a regular basis? And everybody was exactly as, Nanda, you are fun. Nanda, he loved you too, and I loved you. I'm so happy I got to meet you because you are everything I expected you to be, and I'm so happy about that. But we made some amazing connections with people, and, I was really excited because Mark was there and he made connections with people, and, he's not a big YouTuber or anything. And so he really enjoyed meeting Jason and John Newman, Cherish's husband, and, Jackie, Tangi's husband, Jack, and, just a lot of people. It was an amazing and incredible experience. I have talked to so many people since the conference, and they're all comparing it to an experience. It was like everyone came away from this event inspired and with a sense of accomplishment, or with a sense of I need to do more. You know, I need to do more on my homestead. I need to start a homestead. I need to be closer to my family. I mean, I had so many people, especially wives, who drug their husbands to this event. Their husbands didn't want to come, and the wives would come up to me and say, you know, and the husbands too, they would say, you know what, this changed my life. Like, this is causing me to love my family more. This is causing me to want to pursue homesteading the way my wife wants to pursue it, because I see the importance now. I see the abilities that we can have and the skills that we can, you know, perfect, and how good this can be for our kids and our family. And this experience touched not only the people who attended, but the people who worked it as well. And it truly was an experience. It was an incredible, it was crazy. Yes, the reluctant husbands became believers, just like Nanda said. It was, and you know, I know a lot of people that came weren't Christians, but I just have to say this. I believe the hand of God was all over that conference. I, for one, know that I prayed and prayed and prayed for this conference. I know other people who did. I prayed that morning the entire way to the conference. And I mean, people weren't just affected on a homesteading level. They were affected on a spiritual level. These people, they had an encounter with Christ. Whether it was through Joel Salatin, Tommy Alderman has an incredible story. I'm going to let Tommy tell his story because Tommy was there, and he just has an incredible testimony about what happened to him at the conference and one of the attendees he came in contact with. It was truly, I don't have any words, because this isn't something, yes, Jason, I thought about that, Jason. Jason said next year we need to have a group prayer before the gates open. I believe the same thing. You know, I almost had Tommy pray over the event that morning, but we were also all over the place. But definitely next year, it's definitely something we need to do. Even without doing this year, I know so many people who were praying. I know especially us were praying because we had a scare. We were concerned that, you know, there could be a scare with, people just wanting to do bad things with large crowds, and none of that happened. And so I know a lot of people were praying for protection, for peace, for comfort, for God to just be in control of this entire thing. And whether you're a Christian or not, you know, we never forced any Christianity beliefs or anything at the conference. That's not what the conference was about. But I truly believe God honored us in this conference event, because 98% of us who were running it were Christians, and we were believers, and we were leaning on God to get us through this entire weekend. And He did, and He exceeded above and beyond our expectations. And it wasn't us. I mean, we did a lot of work, but it was Him. It was completely and totally God. How else can we explain that such an experience that people had, such inspiration that they had, other than God, you know? So it was incredible. And I know that if I went through and I thanked everybody, I'm going to try to thank the people that I know really hard work, hardcore help. I'm going to start with Tangi, because Tangi came on board, you know, halfway through this ball game of planning the conference, and Tangi was my right-hand girl. Jason, no one's pride got in the way. Everyone was working as a team. The conference wasn't about any one person. It was about everyone. It was about bringing homesteaders together from across the country and beyond. We had people from Canada, Alaska, Hawaii. We had a little girl give up her trip to Disneyland to come to this conference, okay? It was incredible. It was amazing. But Tangi, she rocked it. I mean, that girl was all over the place. She was walking everywhere, running everywhere. She was on that walkie-talkie. And she did an incredible job. I could not have pulled this event off without Tangi Wheat. And so y'all need to go over there. And if you haven't subscribed to her, do it. And if you haven't told her lately how amazing she is, do it. Because Tangi was a godsend to me. I told her before the conference, I said, you're like a mini me. I said, and I've always said I need a mini me, and you are my mini me. And I trust her with all of the responsibility I gave her, and she exceeded my expectations. She was amazing. Give Tangi a round of applause, because she was awesome. The next person I've got to give a shout out to is Tim Beverly. Tim Beverly is always commenting on stuff. He's always in live streams. And that man right there, he was amazing. He offered to bring his golf cart, his little buggy thing, and drive us around. And he was like the unsung hero of the day because the fairgrounds is a really large place. And at first, I'm going to be honest, I felt really like I was taking advantage of Tim because he offered to bring his golf cart, but I was like, oh my goodness, Tim lives really far away down south in Virginia and bringing his golf cart and spending the gas money. But he was like, no, I want to help you. I love helping you. Tim has a servant's heart. Tim loves to help people. And I'll tell you what, I loved having Tim there because I was like, Tim, come and get me. Please, my feet hurt. And he was there. He was just there in a heartbeat. And I'm so thankful for Tim Beverly. So when you see him, you tell him he rocked the conference because he did an amazing job. The next person I have to think is Nunda, which is Bonterra Homestead, and she is here. I gave Nunda the task of running our apparel station. I had no idea how busy our apparel station would be. We basically sold out of almost everything. And we had over 200, 300 some shirts. And we had decals and we had totes. And Nunda, from the time that gate opened until late afternoon, that woman was so busy and so frazzled. She was like, Amy, I'm running out of money. Amy, I don't have ones. Amy. And I felt so bad for her, but Nunda rocked it. I mean, she totally rocked it. She never complained. She never once said anything bad. She owned her job, and she did it with grace and pride. And those people loved her. Everyone who came up to that apparel table just loved Nunda and loved interacting with her. She was amazing. Nunda's husband, John, and Cherish's husband, John, so the two Johns, Big John, Little John, they rocked the parking. I was so concerned about parking that day because it had been raining in Virginia all week long. It was such a disaster, and we all had to park in the grass. So, John, they offered to help with parking. I gave them parking. They did a fabulous job. They took their job. They didn't complain. They had fun while doing it. And I appreciate them so much because that was such a big burden on me that I really wanted to make sure we had people know what they were doing. And they did. They knew exactly what they were doing. And they did it really, really well. Let's see. So, Jason's here, so I have to thank Jason. Jason had a demo and Jason had a booth, but the one thing I have to thank Jason most for is his lighthearted attitude throughout the entire event. He said, am I getting on your nerves? Every few minutes or every couple hours, he would stop me and he's like, I have to talk to you about something, and I was always get really nervous because I didn't know if he was being serious or he was joking. And he'd say something goofy, and I would act all serious, but I would walk away and laugh because he kept me on my toes, but he was just so lighthearted, and he just made it so fun. And I'm going to tell you what, Jason Rear does not get enough notice for the amazing stuff that he does. I mean, that man knows his stuff. Trapping, skinning, tanning. I had no idea that Jason was so good at everything he did. I mean, he's an inspiration. I mean, that's something that I want to sit in on next year and watch him work. And in fact, Joel Salatin even stopped by his booth and was just so intently watching him and learning from him. Jason has that way with people. He was lighthearted, he was informative, he was educational, and people walked away from Jason's booth and they just said, that was probably one of my favorite demos of the day. It's just watching him in action, in his element, doing his thing. And, that radiates from people. When people are real and true and they're just wanting to share knowledge with other people, people are drawn to that. And so every time I walked by his booth, there were tons of people there watching him. And so we're really going to highlight Jason a lot more next year. I can't thank him and Robin enough. They worked their butts off on Friday too with setup. They were amazing. Cherish and John from Hope's Homestead, they were amazing. They rocked setup as well. They did a great job. They were such a great help with setup. Amanda from the Fundamental Home, and yes, and Jason gets introduced like a WWE wrestler next year. Yeah, Mama T said Jason was still lighthearted at the end of the day. He was. He didn't change. He was the same the entire time. And I just so appreciated that about both of them. They were just amazing. They were really passionate about being at the conference. They were really passionate about learning and teaching and being open to questions and answering your questions and interacting with people that were there. They did a really great job. Amanda and her family and the young man that she brought with her, they were awesome. All the kids were awesome the day of the event. I mean, we had teenagers there and they were eager to help. They were eager. They were like, can we get a t-shirt? Can we do this? Can we do that? You know what? So I gave them jobs and they rocked their jobs. I mean, these kids never complained. I never heard them complain. Yeah, those kids worked their butts off and they enjoyed it. They got so much satisfaction out of helping us and making this thing run. It was just, it blew my mind. And at the end of the day, Jack and Tangi were talking about their two kids and how well they worked. And Jackie's like, I was just amazed. He said, I was amazed at how well, we just randomly gave them a task and they ran with it and they did a good job. Good morning, Cherish. I was just talking about you. And then, and Tangi and Jackie. Jack helped her too. It was just so great. Jackie had the task of taking care of the kids on Friday and just, just keeping up with them. And he said, I would help more if I didn't have to watch the kids, but that was a really great job in and of itself. Tommy and Patty Alderman, they were wonderful. Patty, she has this gift of taking control of things. Duckhead Homestead, I wish you guys could have come too, but next year, and we're going to talk about next year in just a few minutes. Tommy and Patty Alderman did amazing. They were a great help setting up on Friday. Good morning, Hickory Hill Homestead. Thank you. They did awesome. Patty has this gift of taking control in situations when there's not a leader. And I think that's a gift because she had no doubt in her mind that she could take it on. And so she helped those boys organize the pavilion down there, getting chairs set up and everything else. Patty is one of those women that you're scared to say no to. And, but Patty knew there was a job that needed to be done, and the venue was so spread out. Somebody needed to be a leader in that place, and so she took control willingly, and she got those boys, she whipped them in shape. She was like, okay, put this here and that here, and she was just wonderful. And Tommy and Patty are really just, they have that gift of encouragement. They are encouragers, and they, all day long, they're like, yeah, you can do it. This is amazing. This is awesome. This is fabulous. And so Tommy and Patty did a really good job, and I really appreciate them. I know there's people that I'm forgetting that helped set up on Friday, and that helped on Saturday. Oh, Anne, my friend Anne. Anne, she's, for those of you who don't know, Anne is like my best friend in the whole wide world. Anne is a farm girl in the making. And so this was the very first time that we got to meet in person. We've been friends for over a year and a half or something like that. And she just, Cherish, you're my friend too, but I don't talk to you every single day. But Anne and I connected on a family level, if you get my drift. Like, we just had so much in common, and Anne and I have been in the same bloggers group for years, and but it was so nice to meet her in person, and she really helped too. She had a demonstration that day, and even through her demonstration for the day and her teaching, she really just, she again whipped everybody into shape, and yes. And she really did a great job, and she left her family behind in Washington to come to this event, so I'm so grateful for her. She did an amazing job too. Janet Garman from Timber Creek Farm. Gosh, that woman, she has a heart of gold. I mean, she was so sweet. She was so calm throughout the entire event. She did an amazing job with her demonstration that day. And she was so encouraging, and she was just like that voice of reason, it's okay. She was very calm. She was just great. Cherish, you already missed him. I talked about him in the beginning. And then there were just so many other people that helped. I really, even people who weren't volunteering during the day, there were just so many people who helped throughout this entire event. The planning, the processing, the setup, the takedown. We had some amazing people. So at the conference, I'm going to actually go through the conference schedule really quickly because I think it's important for people to know who was there, and I want to thank all of these people too if I haven't already. Bandana Grandma, yes, Bandana Grandma. Girl, that girl can rock it. Like, she said she was 67 years old, and she was flipping out chairs and setting up tables, and she was even tearing down stuff. Like, she came up to me, she's like, please tell me when you tear down stuff, because I want to help you. And she was actually saying last night in Jason's live stream how her husband's not like a homesteader and he doesn't like homesteading stuff. And he told her, he's like, this was such an amazing event. I'll bring you back next year. And I was just, I mean, these people, I'm over here like tired as a dog during this whole thing because I was just mentally exhausted from the planning process of this entire conference. That setup was just overwhelming me. And these people were just flipping out chairs and taking control and doing stuff that weren't even asked to do certain things, and they were still doing it. And I was getting tired just watching them. Like, I'm just sitting there looking at them, and these people, some of them weren't young, and they worked hard. It was amazing. So, the schedule, we had Hand Tooth Farm first thing in the morning. They were amazing. I know they were very busy. They did a hog butchery class. They rocked it, and we gave them basically the entire morning in a barn building because I knew they would need it, and they were tired. I mean, they were real tired after the end of the day, but they did an amazing job. They had so much information about hog butchery, and they shared it with everyone, and I had so many people come away and say, you know what, I was concerned about butchering my hogs, but now I have so much confidence in doing it, and I feel rejuvenated and renewed and refreshed, and I'm going to go home and I'm going to do it because I watch these guys do it, and it's amazing. These people were inspired to go home and do their own thing. Good morning, Maria. Around that same time, yeah, I'm reading comments, so I get distracted. Yeah, the footage, we didn't record the entire hog butchery class because that's their lifestyle. So we didn't record the entire thing because we thought if we were putting it all online that that could really take away from income from them, So, but they did a great job. They did a butchery. They actually did the processing of the pig the day before in a private class, and so some of our attendees got to go to that. Really, really popular. Really enjoyed it. It was great. So they did a really great job. I really appreciate them coming and doing that because people loved watching that hog butchery. Off Grid with Doug and Stacy, they came and they spoke twice that day since we had a speaker cancellation. They did a great job. They had all their little homestead homies in the audience, and they actually have a great video that you guys should go check out that they did a video of that day. And Doug and Stacy have kind of been with us from the beginning, promoting it, doing a really great job at marketing and getting people involved. And so they talked about off-grid living, homesteading for health, really encouraging people to homestead a better way. A farm girl in the making, I already talked to you about her. She went over colloidal silver, some herbs. She had a really great turnout for her class. And she was really busy with questions afterward. That is really a big thing in homesteading right now is herbalism and essential oils and colloidal silver. So we were really great. It was really nice to offer that to people, and we'll offer more of that next year. Esther Emery, if you guys missed her talk, I can't wait for you guys to see her lecture that she did once we post the video. Esther brought this brand new sense of calm through the entire venue, and just a really great lifestyle lecture. And it was inspiring. It caused people to really think about how our society works right now and how things are and what we're expected of and not expected to do in today's world. And it was an inspiration, so I can't wait to rewatch that because I didn't get to watch all of it. Janet from Timber Creek Farm did Naturally Dying Homestead Wool. She had a really great booth as well, and all the kids loved that because they got to see her, dye wool, and they got little cards with sheep on it, and Janet knew the exact sheep that the wool came from, and so it was really neat. We had a couple breaks, and then we had a nature walk with Daryl Patton, and Daryl Patton is one of the sweetest men you will ever meet. I mean, he's so cute and spunky, and he's an old-time Appalachian folk herbalist, and he really has a plethora of information when it comes to wild edibles and herbalism. And so his nature walk, it was from 11:30 to 12, and he could have gone all day doing a nature walk. And when I went over, I had told people that Daryl's nature walk was coming up next, and he was like swarmed by all of these people, and all of these people went on this nature walk with him. And I mean, they got in like a space, like a 10-foot space, and they had already seen like 45 different plants that were wild edibles that could be used for food and medicine. People loved Daryl Patton. Daryl did an amazing job. He has such a sweet spirit. I was so glad we could have him, and he's planning on coming back next year too. And then we have the grandfather and father of agriculture. We have Joel Salatin, who Jason freaked out about because Joel is Jason, Big Bear Homestead's hero, and rightfully so. And I think it was really encouraging to see that Joel is even more than we all expected in real life. You hear about famous people and they'll let it get to their head, and Joel is just one of those farmers who was doing something right and became famous because of it. When he got there, he came down. Tim brought him down in the golf cart, and he had these boxes of books. And he got out, and I said, hello, Mr. Salatin. He just had this smile on his face, and so I was sitting there thinking, well, this guy's famous, so I should offer him water if he needs snacks, stuff like that. And so I asked, I was like, what do you need? Do you need me to get you something? And Tangie was there. She's like, we'll get you anything. We were going to give him a golden spoon or something. And he starts laughing. He goes, let me tell you. Jason said, they say you never want to meet your hero, but that is not that case with him. Yeah, he was awesome. He was amazing. So Joel goes, let me tell you. He said, Amy, I was just at an event or workshop, and he said, they stuck me in a horse barn. I slept in a horse stall. Well, the entire time I was there. He said I had no electricity, no running water, and I was okay with that. And I'm sitting there thinking, wow, that's great to know, because I'm not going to stick you in a horse stall. But, the man was just completely humble. I mean, for somebody who's written 10 books and who travels all the time and who has such an influence internationally. I mean, this guy travels to Australia and the UK. He's met Prince Charles. He has such an influence on the agricultural community. For someone with such an influence and who's so popular and so famous, he's the real deal. It's like the millionaires that you meet, but you don't know they're millionaires because they dress all raggedy. Maybe that's just us. Maybe y'all haven't met millionaires before. But he was just like that. He was so humble, everyday, normal person, and that was inspiring in and of itself. And so Jason had told us at the beginning that Joel was his hero, and I wasn't really sure if Joel would walk around a lot or if he would interact with a lot of people. And it was amazing because Joel was so intent at Robin and Jason's vendor booth. And, Jason was giving a demonstration on trapping at his booth, and Joel just kind of pushed his way up front because he was so intent on listening to what Jason had to say. And he asked, according to Jason, I wasn't there, but he said, I just got here. Do you mind if he starts over again? Of course, he's going to say no to Joel Salatin, right? They're probably like, yeah, go ahead. And the videos, I wish I had a video myself, but the videos of Joel and Jason interacting with each other, I mean, it was the teacher being taught by a teacher. And to have that much humility, to know that even though you know a whole lot of stuff, but you still have a whole lot more that you could learn, and you're open-minded to that, that's a true leader. I mean, that's a skill that we all have to have. And so Joel was not only inspiring in his lecture, but he was inspiring as a person by watching his character and watching as he interacted with other people. He emailed me the day after, and he said, it was an amazing experience. He said, I was so surprised by how many people traveled from all across the country and beyond. And he said, I sold more books than I ever imagined I would, and signed books and took pictures. He said it was just an amazing experience for me. And if we're shooting for the next weekend, the same weekend next year, and he's already committed to doing that. He said, I'm there. I'm totally there. And so it was inspiring and encouraging to know that he was so inspiring, but he was also so inspired by us, by us little individuals who are nobodies in some ways. And he was just inspired just as much by us and the things that we were learning and teaching that as we were by him. He had a really great lecture too. I can't wait for you guys to listen to that. It was great. I mean, he didn't hold back whatsoever. So then we had a break after Joel, and then it went into question and answer time. Question and answer time was fabulous. We need to make that longer next year. And there are things, obviously, that we are going to revise and make better. And our first year went off without a hitch, which I was really surprised. I mean, we really had nothing bad happened, which was incredible. But it's also concerning because now I have to top it next year. But, I mean, nothing happened. Nothing bad happened. It all went so flawlessly and seamlessly. And, that's what Joel was saying too. Yeah, Jason got in trouble for talking too much during question and answer. But it was all good stuff. I mean, Jason has such good information that it was all good stuff, but we just didn't have enough time for all the questions. So we're going to make that longer next year. That was a favorite of everyone who attended. And people had a lot of questions. Which was inspiring as well. Then, after question and answer, we had Off Grid with Doug and Stacy again, but we also had Independence Acres Homestead. That's Jeremy Chambers from Independence Acres Homestead, and he did a complete meat rabbit workshop, and then he did rabbit butchering at the end. And again, with the rabbit butchering, we had people come away from that class and say, you know what, I was terrified that I couldn't raise rabbits and that I couldn't butcher them myself. He said, but after watching that, and people went up afterwards to get a hands-on experience. They said, after watching that and being involved in that, I have so much more confidence to do this myself. It's easy to watch people on YouTube do this stuff, but if you're like me, I need someone to teach me. Yeah, and he gave Jason the rabbit hides after he did his workshop so that Jason could demo with cleaning the hides and stuff. And that was how the day went. We all worked off of each other. It was a team. It was no competition. There was nothing. It was just all teamwork and homesteaders working together. But, Jeremy's workshop inspired people to start with a small sustainable meat source on their homestead. And that was really encouraging to those attendees because that's a big step. People get into chickens, they get into gardening, but having a sustainable meat source is a completely different ballgame. You've got to raise that animal, treat that animal, have babies, let the animal have babies and then butcher those babies, That's a big undertaking, and people walked away inspired to do it. I had so many people who said, I'm going home and buying rabbits, or I'm going home and I'm going home and getting pigs next year. People walked away inspired here at the end of the year to start planning now for spring. And I think we timed this year so well because we're coming to the end of harvest season. And people are starting to plan for next year. And so these people were inspired and encouraged to watch these guys, do this hands-on and just learn from them. During that same time, we had Gina Phelps with fermentation. Her class was really popular. She taught everyone how to ferment properly. And look, my phone is ringing. Oh, well, anyhow, I didn't see that comment. I don't know what that comment was. Let's see. Yes, everyone kept asking me if I had more rabbits after that. Did you sell any rabbits, Cherish? Because I forgot to ask you. I saw your little bunnies behind the stage, and I was petting them. They were so cute. And my dad, Cherish met my dad that day, and you sold them all. That's amazing. And she just loved my dad. My dad was great. He was encouraging too. So Gina Phelps did her fermentation class. So then we had Daryl Patton did his incorporating herbs and wild foods into your lifestyle. Daryl actually made pancakes during his presentation, and he made yellow dot pancakes. And Daryl has this, the way he teaches is not like anybody else teaches. He has this grandpa way of teaching. He was just up there, and he has this very soft voice, and he was just talking to people like they were right in his kitchen or right in his home. I mean, it was so calming, and it was just really neat. It was a neat experience, and so I can't wait to have Daryl back and put him to work more next year. He said he wants to do a lot more. We had Connie Myers with Urban Overall. She did homestead cheese making. She made ricotta cheese. That was awesome. A lot of people enjoyed that demonstration. She helped a lot of people learn a new skill that day. And then Tommy Alderman did Dealing with Crisis on a Homestead. Tommy had an incredible lecture. I'm sorry I missed it, but Tommy had a lecture that not only touched people on a homesteading level, but an emotional level. He helped people deal with crisis right then and there. People came up to him afterwards and said, "You have no idea how much I needed to hear this from what I've been dealing with for years or just recently," or that was an amazing, amazing lecture that I can't wait for Tommy to share on YouTube. He recorded it, so I can't wait for him to share that. I'll let him tell his story on his own. And then the last workshop of the day was Suzanne Deardoff, and she's actually my neighbor. She did soap making. She sold a lot of soap, took the scary part out of soap making for people, and she did a rocking job on that. So we had a whole lot of people. We also had Joshua Langford, who was a blacksmith. He did demos during the day. Sullivan Family Homestead, they did spinning demos. People loved the spinning demos. So Dana, if you're watching this, I got a lot of great feedback from your spinning demos. Logox was there. They sold out almost all of their Logox tools. ABS, automated biomass systems, they were there. Virginia Tractor with John Deere was there. The overall experience of the amount of people that have talked to me after the conference the overall experience has been wonderful. Our sponsors, a huge thank you to our sponsors: Layman's Hardware, Tasty Worms, Brincia Incubators, Lodge Cast Iron, SmartSteader, which is a great, amazing app that you guys should check out. I know for one, it helped me realize that we weren't spending as much on chickens as I thought we were. Ondaline Roofing, Sloggers, Cash Design, and Piedmont Publishing Group. Piedmont Publishing Group is actually the business that came alongside of us and said, we're going to make this happen. Let's fund it. Let's help you out and get it going. So check out all of those people. They did an incredible job. All of these people did an amazing job on helping us finance and get this conference going and together. People are ready for next year. We had amazing vendors. I mean, the vendors that came, and let's talk about the food truck, shall we? We had Sobo Mobile was a food truck that came in last minute. Now, we weren't sure if they were coming at first, but then they called us the day before, and they're like, yes, we were coming. There was some miscommunication. And that dude, I'm going to tell you what, he's got something going. And I told my husband, I said, he needs to have 2 food trucks next year because he's all over Facebook and Instagram. I mean, people loved his food truck. And his food truck on the side, instead of saying farm to table, it had the table crossed out and it said farm to face. And I've been to this guy's farm, okay? I went to his farm back in the fall or early winter. It might have been spring. I don't know. It was cold outside. And he grows a lot of his own food on his farm for that food truck. And if he can't grow it, then he gets it sustainably locally from other farmers. He did an incredible job. He ran out of coffee within the first hour. He ran out of breakfast. He almost sold out of every ounce of food that he had on that truck. Not because, we could have used another food vendor. We had 3 food vendors. But he was just the most popular because he was a farm-to-table food truck. And I had his burrito that morning. It was amazing. He had Mexican hot chocolate that he made with chocolate cookies. Like, it was so good. It was so good. And then he had pumpkin empanadas. Like, oh my gosh, it was amazing. So we're definitely trying to get him back next year. He said he definitely wants to come back. We had Black Fig Pizza, which was a wood fire, it was a wood fire pizza. And that was really good. We got some of that. And then we had Sibby's. I think they had barbecue and hamburgers and hot dogs and stuff. So next year we'll probably get 4 food vendors just to help offset long lines. But it was amazing. All the food that we had was awesome. So let's talk about next year. Before that, I'm going to show you the setup of the event. I'm not sure if you can see it. This was the event. We had a lot of vendors, a lot of buildings, a lot of demonstrations. All of our vendors that we had are at the top. We had almost 100 vendors. It was pretty crazy. So next year is a huge topic. We are talking about next year right now. I've actually been talking to Jason about it a lot. I've been talking to my husband about it a lot. Mark wants to be a lot more involved this coming year. He walked away inspired too, and that was a big blessing for us, for our family. So next year we're hoping right now that we're planning a 2-day conference. But after talking with a lot of people, we are also hoping to actually have a 3rd day, which would be, so the conference would be a Friday and a Saturday. But we're hoping to have a 3rd day, which would be that Thursday before, and we would open that Thursday up to in-depth workshops. Now, these workshops could be between 10 and 25 people, depending on the workshop. And we're talking about in-depth, you get your hands dirty, hands-on workshops. I've already, talked to the blacksmith. He really wants to do an all-day workshop, but he can only have, 10 to 15 people, so the tickets would be workshop tickets. They're not going to be $25 tickets. We're thinking, $65 to $100 a ticket, depending on what the workshop is. We did that this year for Hantine Farm when they did their hog butchering on Friday. They sold out within 24 hours. It was incredible. So we're talking about the blacksmith. I've been talking to Jason. Jason's wanting to do, huge workshop on trapping, on tanning, all of his massive amount of knowledge that he has. So people can get in there and they can get hands-on experience with the topics that they learned about this year, but they may have wanted to know more about it next year. And so they can get in there and learn hands-on, and it's great if you're a visual learner. So that's something we're putting together right now. So, I'm not sure if we're going to do 2 days and the workshops, or if we're going to do 1 day and the workshops before. That's something we need to sit down and look at financially. Events are not cheap, we learned this year. Events are not cheap at all. And, with a 1-day conference, that's great. But with a 2-day conference, you're doubling everything. So that's, we'll be looking for sponsors soon. Again, a lot of our sponsors, almost all of them this year said that they would definitely do it again next year, and even more so next year. Almost all of our vendors said they want to come back for sure. So everybody who came this year really wants to help out again next year. But we'll be looking for even more sponsors and more vendors, and opening up more space for attendees. So our goal next year is to have, 3,000 to 4,000 people. This year, we topped out at, I believe, 2,000 people in total. 2,000 people at a first-year event is unheard of, because, You know, I was thinking 3 to 4 to 500 people. Guys, we tripled it. I mean, more than that. We had at least 1,800 to 2,000 people there. It was incredible. It was crazy. So next year we're hoping to have general admission just for everything. We're hoping to do $25 tickets across the board for the conference. Obviously, the workshops the day before are going to be a little bit different because you're getting a workshop. You're getting in there. You're getting hands-on with teachers. They're teaching you how to do this stuff on a first case basis, you know, one-on-one. So, you know, check back on more of that as we're planning. If you have not subscribed to our e-newsletter on homesteadersofamerica.com, do that because a lot of that information is going to be sent out via that. Volunteers, anybody who helped us this year that for sure want to help us next year, I will tell you right now, we are planning to have it, I was looking for my calendar, the 11th, 12th, and 13th. So the 12th and 13th would be the 2-day part of the conference. The 11th would be set up in workshop day. So I need to hear from you guys to see if that's even doable with you. We can take shifts in volunteers. You know, not all volunteers. Oh, hi, Candy. Good. Oh, good. I'm glad you guys liked it. Candy, I saw that you were at the conference, but I didn't even get to see you. So I'm sorry I didn't get to see you. Awesome. Nanda's in. Jason's in. Yeah, I've talked to some of you already. You said you're definitely coming back next year. I'm so sorry. I ate a breakfast sandwich, and it is, like, tearing me up. I keep burping. Good morning, Isabel. Jason says I'm down like Leroy Brown. Candy, that's fine. I probably saw you and didn't even, like, acknowledge you, so I'm sorry. Yeah, so I need to get with my volunteers and make sure, you know, all of that's good. And then anybody who came to the conference, we are wanting to hear your feedback. You can send Tangi or myself an email. It's just amy@homesteadersofamerica.com or Tangi@homesteadersofamerica.com. We want to hear from you. We want to hear what your experience was like, any testimonials that you have. We want to hear any suggestions that you have. What are your suggestions? You know, we are not prideful or egomaniacs. We want to hear, okay, this didn't work for us, or this could have been a little better, or, you know, if you don't have any complaints, we want to hear it was awesome and amazing, don't change anything. But we want to make this event a good event for everyone. And it was a huge family-friendly event. And we probably had over 300 kids there on Saturday. And it went flawlessly. I mean, these kids were so well behaved. I mean, it was crazy. We need more cornbread. You know, thanks to y'all, my son keeps walking around asking me if I have any cornbread. We had chili last night, and we didn't have any cornbread. So guess what he did? Yeah. But yeah, so if you have anything that you want to share with us, please do. It's not going to hurt our feelings if it's bad, and we're not going to get a big head if it's good. So we are already in contact with the fairgrounds for next year. We are trying our hardest. Yes, Big John's fault, Nenda. We are trying our hardest to get the same venue. There are just some hoops that we have to jump through. We had a lot of people ask us why we didn't open it up to the general public this year, why we did pre-sale tickets. We wanted to. We really, really wanted to, but we had some issues with the county, and that needed to be worked through, and hopefully we've worked through those. Hopefully they can see how good of an event this was. All the hotels were sold out. Revenue from hotels, revenue from restaurants was up that weekend. Revenue from all kinds of places in town were up that weekend. And so this is not just a great event for homesteaders. This is a great event for our community. We put money into the pockets of small businesses that needed help and that needed rejuvenation and who needed some extra income, you know. So we not only helped our homesteading community, but we helped the community here in Warrenton, Virginia. So I think that we have that going for us. So Yes, love feeding the locals. Yeah, it was great. It was wonderful. So I'm hoping that we can work with them. I talked to them yesterday, and she seemed optimistic, but you just never know. You just don't know how it's gonna go with the county and venues and stuff like that. So we're hopeful, but we'll have to wait and see. So next year we're again tentatively planning it for the same weekend. So it would be the 12th and 13th. We'd have set up that Thursday before, so it would be a Friday and Saturday conference. That way everyone can travel back on Sunday. And as soon as we can get that set in stone and get a contract in place, it's on like Donkey Kong. We're going to be moving really quickly, getting all of this in order, and so just hang on because it's going to be crazy. We have a lot to offer you guys this coming year. I have a lot of new people that I've talked to that are interested in coming and doing, and these new people are like big time new people. They're amazing, so we're really excited about the people that we've talked to this week. We've had people contacting us saying, what is this Homesteaders of America thing that's all over the internet right now? Like, we're literally taking the internet by storm in the homesteading community. And I'm like, well, hey, you want in on this? Because we would love to have you as a speaker or a demonstrator. So I don't even think that was everything I wanted to cover, but it was an amazing experience. It was really, yeah. I mean, I didn't go to any other conference this year, but that's what I keep hearing. It was the best conference of the entire year. We have, Joel Salatin even said that everyone who talked to him said it was better than Mother Earth News. It was the intimacy that they had with the speakers. The venue was big enough to where there weren't people stepping on each other. And, the speakers were able to have one-on-one time and breaks with these attendees. And, Patty Alderman stopped me and she said, thank you so much for putting breaks in between your speakers. She said, because it made all the difference. She said that was probably one of the greatest successes of this conference, is that you allowed people to walk around, to interact, and to really interact with speakers and demonstrators the entire day. And that's our goal with the conference. Our goal with the conference is for it to be an intimate setting. And so spreading it out over a 2-day time period, I think we'll be able to host more attendees, but it'll still be an intimate setting because not everybody is going to want to see everything during the day. And so we're going to try and have, once again, a wide variety of things that will pertain to individuals. The guys don't want to necessarily see soap making, though some of them might. So we tried to do, like a more manly thing during that time for the guys and a more girly thing for the girls, So it was a good variety, and we hope that we can offer that to you guys next year as well. It was fun. It was fun. My only regret is that I didn't get to sit down and really hang out with anybody. So any of you guys that are coming next year, I would love it if you could stay a few days extra afterwards, because Mark and I are like going through withdrawals from people because we didn't really get to sit down and talk to anybody. And so we're actually going to dinner with Tangi and Jackie tonight. And I know Mark, I talked to Mark last night, Jason, he's really looking forward to taking you hunting. And John too, if he wants to go. He said he's not sure if he can take everybody, but he's going to try. He's going to try to go and take everybody. But he's really looking forward to that. He really is looking forward to that. And just interacting with people one-on-one. Jason said dibs. One-on-one and having a good time. I mean, we really walked away from this event feeling like we made lifelong friends. Mark and I, and Cherish and I have talked about this before. Mark and I aren't necessarily people who need to have a friendship every single week, we're busy. We're busy people, and we love being at home and being with each other. And these are the types of friendships that we like having, because it's like you will have so much to talk about when we see you, we will have so much to talk about when we take a special trip to come down and see you, or when you guys make a special trip to come up here. Jason was talking on his live stream, was it night before last or last night? I can't remember. And he was saying, you know, how back in the day, homesteaders didn't get together every single week with friends. You know, they made the trip. They made the trip to see their friends, and it was a special thing. And for us, I feel like we appreciate these friendships more because we are looking forward to them so much, and we are looking forward to seeing these people again. And we, you know, there is no expectation of, I gotta talk to you every day, or I gotta call you every week, or, oh man, we haven't hung out in a long time. You know what I mean? And it's more, it's a more intimate relationship because we miss you guys so much already, and we want you to come back. And so we are thinking about planning a trip down to see John and Nunda and Cherish and John. And Mark said he would like to come and see Jason and Robin too. And so we were thinking about November in the beginning, but I'm wondering with the holidays coming if that might be too much. So we were thinking maybe January or February, so we might try to accomplish that. We'll have to see. We really need to talk about it more and go from there. But Mark really enjoyed meeting Big John, Little John, Jason, Jackie, Tommy. He was pleasantly surprised to meet people that he really clicked with. So we really, really enjoyed it. And it was good for my heart too that he clicked with people that, that were there. So we really just had a great time with you guys. It was awesome. So I hope we can really meet up and stay longer next time and enjoy each other. Yeah. Oh, Jason, he would love that. He would really love that. Yes, Maria, cornbread was a hot topic. It was a hot topic. So, anyhow, so that was it with the conference. We are gearing up for next year. We have people who already want to buy tickets for next year, y'all. Like, I'm just like, wait, just wait. I'm trying to get there. And then since I'm on here, I'm going to do a shameless plug for my book. This is something that I worked really hard for during the planning stage of the conference, and I've had a lot of people asking me about it. I announced it on Facebook, I announced it in my newsletter, but I haven't announced it on here. Half of you going back and watching this probably won't even see it because I got so long-winded and I've already been on here almost an hour. But the book, I have a book coming out in April called The Homesteaders Herbal Companion, and it talks a whole lot about growing herbs, preserving herbs, using herbs, how to make tinctures, salves. Jason, you can pre-order it on Amazon. Talks about essential oils, talks about how to use it for your family, for your livestock, excuse me again, around your home. It talks about the importance of herbal safety. It is on pre-sale. You can order it on Amazon. Just type in the Homesteaders Herbal Companion, and you can pre-order it right away. The nice thing about Amazon is if the price changes between now and the publishing date, you get the lowest price possible. So that's a really good thing if you pre-order it now. The lowest price that it goes down to is the price that you'll get. It's about 300 pages or so. We're still in the editing process of it, so we're not quite sure how many pages it'll be. But it is literally the ultimate guide to herbalism. We really get into the nitty-gritty of stuff. Making tinctures, the importance of not using the folk method and using weight measurements instead of folk method measurements. Because a lot of people will get into herbalism and they'll get upset because their tinctures or salves aren't working, and it's because they just threw a bunch of stuff together in a part, like 2 parts one thing, 2 parts another, instead of actually measuring their herbs. Because when you have an ounce of calendula and an ounce of cayenne, the calendula looks like this and the cayenne looks like this, and so it's hard. We, eyeballing it, we really go in depth into that, the perfect safety and the way to really get into herbalism. I walk you through how to grow herbs, really crazy, stupid, simple ways to grow herbs, nothing complicated. And I'm going to talk to you on an easy to understand terminology. I will totally sign your book, Jason. So that you can understand what I'm talking about. You know, you get into a lot of these herb books and they use all this terminology because they have to, because that's what things are called, you know. But I know when I first started getting into herbalism, I was like, what? Like, what does this even mean? Like, what is this long word that we're talking about? And I'm just breaking it down for you guys. It's easy to read, easy to understand. You're not sitting there going, what did you just say? Like, this book is truly going to give you the confidence to jump into herbs in a way like you want. This is the book that I wish I had when I was starting herbalism. The book is going to be released in April. So you guys can pre-order it now. It is on pre-order now. Please, by all means, share it because we're trying to get as many pre-orders as we can. But it's the go-to guide for those wishing to live a more natural homesteading lifestyle. Somebody's calling me again. Okay. So that's it. That's it. That's all I have. I'm like done with talking now. So I hope you guys had a great time at the conference. I'm going to go ahead and get off here and get some housework done because I've neglected my house over the past year. And if you guys have any feedback, please let us know. If you guys want the pre-order link, I'm going to try and come back and put this in the description. And I'll try to come back and talk about it more. And I hope you guys have a great day. Thank you for sticking with me, the 17 of you that came. And bye, Nenda. Bye, Hope. And I will get some rest. I will definitely try to get some rest now. So thank you guys for helping. Thank you guys for being awesome and amazing. And I hope you have a great day. Bye.